Ladies and gentlemen, today is a bad, bad day. If you're a hater of what's going on in this case market, we are seeing all-time highs on many different cases. This is absolutely unseen growth, and I've been saying that for a while now, but it's because it hasn't stopped and it's continued to multiply in big ways on a lot of these cases. So we're going to be jumping right into that. We're not going to waste any of your time or your money here today. Here with the snakebite case, all the way up to 40 cents, which is the highest it's been recently. Sat at about 35 for a while, now up to about 40, uh, up really 5 cents in the last couple weeks on those. So just some steady growth on those snake bites, the cheapest and newest rare case. Now the clutches have really stayed the same at about 70 cents. These are not a mover. The CS20s moved up into the 90, over the 90 cent range, into the dollar range last, like, just a few days ago. We saw that in the last video, it being at about the dollar range, and it's stayed there after that jump. Obviously a huge jump from where it was hovering in the 80 cent range, and it slowly gained up through the 80 cent range and ballooned up to about a dollar. Now with the danger zones and the prismas all sitting at about a buck 19 right now, which is pretty huge. That means these are about to be pushing into the 120 range. Just slow growth on these since January. In December we saw a huge boom on those, and then just slow steady cent by cent jumps on those, but up to about $1.19 on those. Same with the Prismas. Now, not same with the Prismas actually in terms of how fast they've grown, because the Prismas within the last month have taken tremendous jumps. In particular, the Prismas and the Prisma 2s. I mean, that's all the Prismas there are, but I mean, specifically the Prismas within the last like week or so, just because they've really taken a steep climb. Whereas before they were sitting in the 90 cent range, just under the Prisma 2s, they took a jump to be just pretty much equivalent to the Prisma 2. So really been a good week for those. Now, one that we've seen jump tremendously since the last video is the Horizon case. This case was, I believe, somewhere around 165 to 170 in the last video. And if you come ahead and look at where it's at now, absolutely insane growth. Insane growth. A 20 to 30 cent jump in the last few days since the last video. That's absolutely monumental on a case like this. And I don't necessarily expect this to stop. I say this a lot, and I'll say it again just for the sake of beating, the dead horse. Uh, with all of these cases that get up into these higher prices, you see the same pattern, because when they're all rare cases, they all follow similar trajectories here. They reach into like, they're obviously, when they were at their very cheapest, it held up price for years and years, and then cases actually started to hold some value, and then you see it hold for a long period of time, and then it takes a large jump, and then it holds for a large period of time, and then it takes a large jump when it corrects to what the price really should be on the market, because it sits at like a stagnant price for a while, and then eventually hits that climb. And I believe, and again, and I've mentioned this, a few of my other friends believe we are at the start of that next climb. So I've had people in the past, in the comments and other videos, say, why would you ever recommend getting in right now when the market's at an all-time high? And you're right, it is at an all-time high, but that does not mean that it's going to slow down, and it very well could not stop for a while. Listen, I predicted on these horizons specifically, about a month and a half ago. I said I think these could easily get up into the $2 range by the end of 2025. Brother, it's not even the end of February and we're almost there. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys about getting in while you can, because I seriously don't doubt. And again, take conservative estimates with everything that I say. And that's why I originally said $2 by the end of 2025. It's very possible that we could see these get up into the $3, $4 range in just a couple of years. Obviously, we're not going to be able to continue at the current trajectory that it's been on, because it's absolutely insane. But even if we expect to go anywhere near that trajectory, even half of that, will be at that $3 range within a couple of years easily, and way above that. So expect these to change. Again, these lower priced rare cases, I think, are the best investments right now in the market. Now, looking at the falchions, they've stayed the same from the last video. The Spectrum 2s are up about 20 cents from the last video. Revolver is still sitting about 30-35 where they've been. Same with the Wildfires and the Chroma 3s. The Chroma 2s, I didn't actually take a look at these in my off time. Not a lot of movement on these. Been some stagnation on that for a long time. Same with the Chroma 3s. Same with some of these Gammas. Now, the Gammas maybe have grown like 10 cents or so in the past little bit. Yeah. Um, so all the way up to what 426. Last video we were about like 414-ish, somewhere around there. So a lot of growth on that. Now another case I want to show you guys that's actually been pretty monumental. Um, has been the Spectrum case. Now, this case has really taken a big hike up since the last video and really within the past month. On the month started about like what 464 all the way up now to 530 pretty much, 534 really. So a lot of growth on that in the last month. And I don't expect these to stop. Again, these are rare cases. There's less and less in circulation. So the price is only going to be going up as they get open on a lot of these cases. Now, the chromas continue to surge past their all-time high. They're about like 550 in the last video, all the way up to 570 now. So insane growth on a lot of these cases now. Another case I wanted to mention that's really been surging has been the glove case. I thought it was pretty wild that we just reached the $9 range on this, as it's been hitting been in the $8 range, $7 range for a long time now. So it hitting the $9 range was pretty big, but now we're seeing it all the way up to 950 and soon to be above that. So that's actually really insane from what we've seen, just even from the last video, like a 50-cent jump on these. So it's really not unexpected for the gloves to maybe reach that $10 range within, a month or two, just because when they get in this high price range, they do tend to fluctuate much quicker. So we could easily see it go back down under $9 in a few videos from now. You never know. Just because if somebody offloads even just a small portion of what they have when it's at such an inflated price, you know what I mean? Not even inflated necessarily, but such a high price, it can really like tank the market a little bit, but once those get bought up, again, you're right back up to that price range because there's only a limited amount. So keep your eye on these fast movers on the market, folks. Really a lot of interesting things going on. That's really all the fast movers we've been seeing. Like we've seen really every other case continue a solid, slower, steady grind up, like the shattered webs all the way up to 512 now, which is pretty high compared to where they've been on the month, like really up over a almost up a dollar on the month, 90 cents in the last month. That's a huge gain on these shattered webs when you think about where these are going to be in about a year, 2 years, 3 years. So get in on this while you can, folks. Thank you all for coming out. Again, a lot of cases moving here today and a lot of movement on the cases that have been moving. So keep your eye on the market. Stay tuned while you can. Get in while you can. Thank you all for coming out. Let me know how you guys are feeling about the market down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.